Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for your patience. This is Joanna the medium, and these are going to be readings for the month of May and June. They are coming late. I had some personal stuff come up. I had a loss in my family, and I was also hit with this energetic shift that made me feel, let's just say, discombobulated. So when that happens energetically, it's an interesting thing to go through, but it renders me not as effective when it comes to connecting. So I had to honor myself, and I had to honor my guides, and I needed to stay back a little bit and just allow this to pass through. The month of April and May have been quite challenging, to say the least, for many people. It has certainly been challenging for me. My understanding is that we were going through a massive energetic shift that has brought up a whole bunch of stuff to surface. So this would have affected differently to different people, but I am sure a lot of you were affected by it. So for me, it's coming to the end, but it has certainly not been an easy time to say the least. The month of May and June readings, or the month of May and June, are interesting because they felt very transitory to me. There is a lot of change in the air, and this could be because it's an after effect of the energetic shift. Most of the signs, if not all of the signs, are going through a lot of changes, transitions, a lot of endings, but also starting new beginnings. So very interesting to see. Almost every single one that I was doing had a component of ending on some levels, and endings are not bad. Endings just means that we are done with it. Our soul is done with it and says, okay, I want to experience something new and something different, something much more something bigger, and it's time to leave some things behind. So be prepared that the month of May and June, or whatever is remaining in May, you may actually have experienced some of this in May, but because it's coming out a little bit later in May, you may have already experienced this, or you will experience this in the remainder of May and June. So just be prepared that some of the energies might still feel a little bit shifty and slightly uncomfortable, not bad necessarily, but slightly uncomfortable. But I am being told that we're almost done with this energetic shift, and it will not happen for many years to come. We'll have little shifts, but this was quite, I almost said expensive. It was quite expansive and expensive on the energies, or on my emotions at least, for sure. Of course, these are general readings, so please listen to them. If they make sense to you, great. If not, listen to your moon, rising, or your other signs, or sun sign. And of course, if you would like a private session with me, that information is down below under show more section. I would be more than happy, honored to have a session with you. I think that's all I want to say. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for all your wishes. A lot of you have written to me asking if I'm okay, and yes, I'm okay, but it was challenging, to say the least. But thank you all so much for your concern. I truly appreciate it, and I am back on a regular schedule, and that's all I want to say. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in July. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, beautiful Capricorns. This is going to be a reading for the remainder of May and the month of June. When I was shuffling the cards and asking for the overall energy for the month of May and June, or remainder of May and June, so for about 6 or 7 weeks, I kept seeing the number 6, which stands to me for harmony. When I connect with that symbol, I hear harmony within relationships. I also hear smoother road ahead with regards to communicating within relationships. And let me just see if there's anything else. I'm also being shown a cross. Some of you are going to be, or are currently at, a crossroads in your life pertaining to work. And I do have a work card down the road, or we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail a little bit later on. So this is just the energies that I was picking up as I was asking for the overall energies. I'm keeping my eyes closed because I can see better that way. Okay, for those of you who are mothers, happy Mother's Day. I'm supposed to say this to you even though this is going to be posted slightly later than Mother's Day. And yeah, harmony is what I get for many of you, if not for most of you. And this could also signify harmony within. So if one feels harmonious within, life looks so much better on the outside. Now, I am seeing a road widening in front of me, meaning this would be for you. What is the meaning of this? Opportunities. There will be some opportunities presented for some of you regarding relationship. And I also hear the words job posting. So he's already taking me to different directions. But let's go with the card and see what the actual card says. So the card that represents the overall energies for remainder of May and June is the card called Light. Beautiful. Number 19. 1 and 9 is 22, stands for unions is what I hear, but also decisions. Financial decisions is what I'm being told. So this may pertain to your work situation. But overall, this is a card that is a beautiful card. It's called Light. It is a major arcana, but that's all I'm using for this particular purpose. And when I see this card, I hear the words reach for the stars, do not compromise. And again, I'm hearing the word relationship. Some of you seem to be weighing out options or decisions about your relationship, and this is about a relationship going forward. So for those of you who are already in an existing relationship, and I haven't even gotten to the relationship card, you will be weighing out options, and the options are, do I stay or do I go? Do I stay or do I go? And he's also reminding me, and I don't remember this, but he's reminding me that this was already said at some point earlier in the earlier months to you. Now he's also pointing towards February, last February. So whatever message was given to you in February, somehow there is a connection here. Okay. I'm also seeing somebody I see a trumpet, and I'm trying to understand what this particular symbol means. And I hear the words celebration, well done. So there's a lot of great energy for May and June for sign of Capricorn. And I hear that there is a lot to be celebrated, or a lot to be thankful or grateful for. I also do feel that many of you have recently overcome a hurdle. And again, I hear the words relationship. Now, relationship can be on different levels. This could be romantic relationships with families, relationships at work, relating to yourself or whoever you want to relate to. You have overcome some, he says, major hurdle. And this was an accomplishment for you because you had the aha moment. So I have no connection to this, as you guys know. When I give messages, half the time I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So hopefully this is going to make sense to you. Now, so that's a great overall energy. That's fantastic. Now, the chakra that will be most affected, or the chakra that should be paid attention to, is base chakra. So that's your first chakra. So this is all about security, stability, often relates to finances. And I want to ask here why this is being brought forward. And is it because it's going to feel off, or no? What he's saying to me is that over the last few months, particularly for those of you who have been in relationships or are dealing with relationships matters, you have not been feeling safe or secure. Now, this can also signify that you have not felt safe and secure within you. And the reason why this is coming up, why is this coming up? I'm asking if it's a message of something to do, or is it just some other message? What's the message here, please? I actually hear the words, well done, continue what you're doing. And I also hear the words status quo. Now, what's interesting is that what I was saying earlier is that there'll be some decisions or changes going forward regarding relationships, but at the same time he's saying status quo. So I need to understand what he's talking about. Ask them to be patient, he said. Okay. So you may not be making decisions in the month of May or June, but you will be in a process of deciding within yourself internally, but the actual decision, as in you're going to make the decision, may not necessarily happen in the month of May or June. And that's why he's saying status quo, which is very interesting. And here's the nose again with Spirit coming forward. So let me leave that and let's move on to the actual cards about relationships. So the card representing relationship it's actually called Palace of Coins, but it was shown to me in reverse. Okay, so this represents home to me, this particular card. Coins is all about the earthly things and also things we have. So it is possessions, work, money, obviously finances, property. It can also signify relationships. And then I'm seeing the number 2. And what's interesting here is that in your home, there are decisions to be made. So, which is interesting because it feels very contradictory to what was just said, but he's saying to me, not necessarily. It's almost a similar message. There are some changes that are going to take place in your home or your home environment. And I keep seeing the number 2. So for those of you who are single, there is a potential here for someone moving in with you, or you are moving. Now, I'm asking him, why is this being shown to me in reverse? I feel like some of you are going to move from where you are. And because this card is talking about, it's supposed to be talking about relationships, I want to see how this connects. This is what he says. Relationships are important, but they shouldn't stay knowing they are not happy. So definitely some decisions taking place in the month of May in your home, in your environment, if you are in a relationship. May not necessarily mean you make those decisions in the month of May or June, but there's definitely a process happening. Now, at the same time, on the what this may look like is you are starting to decide some things, but your partner may not be fully aware of this, okay? Which is why it says it's going to feel more like a status quo, because I feel like these changes are going to happen a little bit further towards summer. Summer does begin on June 21st, but I feel more July, August is when the hurdle is going to be presented, or hurdle that you will have to overcome. Now, for those of you who are single, I actually hear the words, it's time to move out. So maybe some of you live with somebody else, or with your parents, or with your family members, and that is not serving you in the relationship department. And this can take shape in many different ways, so I'm going to let you guys figure out what this means to you. But he does say it's time to move out, it's time to move away, for those of you who are single. Now, could also mean that for those of you who are living with a partner, maybe you live with your family, or maybe you share accommodations and with family or with other people, and he says to me it's too crowded. So for those of you, and this is not going to apply to all of you obviously, but for those of you who are living in a situation where there's more than just you, there's other people, it is time to move out. And I hear that I feel it very clearly, and I also hear it. I also hear other opportunities will present themselves. So I can see how in a relationship, if you are living with a whole bunch of different people, it might not be very conducive to a healthy, thriving relationship. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else. Also, for those of you who are on the lookout for love interest, I hear the words, it is coming, but not yet. And again, the month of July seems to come up. So I actually see a heart in front of me, but the heart is at a distance, and July and a little bit towards August. So July, August is where I see it. And then I also see the word hot. So some of you may actually get into a relationship or meet somebody around the month of July and August. So it's toward a little bit further into the summer months. Also, for those of you who are single, you are being encouraged to stay patient. Be patient with yourself and be patient with where you are. And although I feel that some of you are not satisfied with where you are, particularly those who are single, he says it is better to remain single than to get yourself in a whole bunch of situations that ultimately gives you a headache. And for those of you who this is meant to mean something, it'll make sense to you right away. Okay, and let me just see if there's and I see the number 6. So 6 again is harmony, but in this case it is about harmony within. So obviously, in order to have a harmonious relationship with somebody else, the prerequisite is you need to be in harmony within yourself, because that will most certainly help you. If there's a conflict going on within you, particularly in the matters of heart, you will have a difficult time not meeting, but establishing a functionally stable relationship. So some of you still have some healing to do around the heart area, and I'm being shown zipped up. So some of you are still protecting yourself. Some of you are still closed off a little bit. You are too cautious because you are afraid of being hurt, and that's a pretty standard thing. But you need to resolve some of those things within you and look a little bit deeper as to why you feel the need to still do that, because he says it will show itself in a relationship, and it will reflect the stability of your relationship going forward. So different messages for different people. Now, the card representing finances and jobs and security, we have the card called 3 of Wands. So there's a gentleman here looking at daydreaming, but the card was shown to me in reverse. To me, 3 of Wands, personally, you guys know I don't read cards the normal way, represents collaborations, people coming together, represents coming together with people in order to collaborate, getting maybe jobs, starting projects with a collaboration. That's the word I want to say, but it is shown to me in reverse. So let me see what this is supposed to mean for you in other than traditional way. What I'm being told is that your hopes and dreams are falling short. And it feels, for those of you who this is supposed to make sense, things are not turning out in your finance department or in your job or work department the way you wish them to be. And I actually see thumbs up. Some of you, I feel, are quite dissatisfied with where you are, and I actually feel that you are feeling very stagnant. Things are not moving, things are not progressing as far as your job or your career. Your finances could be better, and he says should be better. But at the same time, he's saying to me that confidence is an issue here. So for those of you who are struggling in a work situation, and if you are becoming despotent, that's the word that's being given to me. I don't quite know what that word means. I think I do, but it will be very difficult for me to explain. So just look at the word despotent and despotent. And if you want to make a note on the bottom, on the comments, by all means do. I love when you guys educate me. So if you are becoming despotent and if you are becoming unsatisfied with your current conditions, rather than blaming yourself or others, it would be more worthwhile for you to look into some aspects of yourself that you have been ignoring. And then he goes to confidence, and all of a sudden I'm being shown a face of a lion. Lion to me represents power, empowerment, feeling significant, feeling like one belongs, feeling like one is firmly rooted and just confident. Like when you look at a lion, it strikes you as this powerful beast. Lion doesn't ask for approval, at least not the way we feel it. So what this is saying to me is that for those of you who are struggling in a work environment, you need to look at your challenges with your confidence and with your power. Because what he's saying to me is that you're not only able to not enjoy what you do, but you have difficulty. It's like you have difficulty to aspiring to more than what you are. And the difficulties are stemming from you having some challenges with, again, power and self-esteem, confidence. Very, very important. Now, obviously, this is for some of you. Some of you, there will be plenty of opportunities for jobs or for different work. I don't necessarily see it as career. Career and job to me signify slightly two different things. It is termed to me in terms of jobs. So there will be plenty of opportunities over the next 2 to 6 months. So if you are looking for a change of job and you're not working, there's going to be plenty of opportunities between the 2 and 6 months. If you are in an unsatisfactory job, again, there will be plenty of opportunities for you to choose from, but your ability to secure a position or a job that is meaningful to you has to stem from you fully understanding what you are lacking, okay? And I don't believe that we lack anything. We think we do, but underneath all the labels that we have or we think that we are capable of pretty much anything, with few exceptions. Like I wouldn't say that we could fly tomorrow, because that would just not be very good. So that's the message here. And there's definitely a feel of struggle with work for some of you with your job, okay? Then he's saying to me, your sense of dissatisfaction with your work comes from your own inability to decide what you truly want for yourself. So there is an inner indecision, conflict, or maybe not even knowing of what it is that you want, perhaps because you don't really fully know who you are yet. And we often don't know until we start digging much deeper. So again, this is not going to apply to all of you. This is for some of you. I also hear that month of July is going to be very prominent. Again, this month of July comes up. So it seems to be consistent in different areas. For those of you looking for work, month of July seems to be quite significant. July and then August again. July, August, September. So that is within the next 2 to 6 months. By November, those of you who are looking to start a new career, looking for a new job, or contemplating getting out of what you do, most of you will be in a different position by the time October, November arrives. Now, of course, this is not going to apply to all of you, but this is applying to those who are starting to feel dissatisfied and starting to maybe think about what you want. Now, it doesn't mean you have to wait till November if you are ready to change, but the month of October, November seems to be highlighted here. I'm also hearing that in time, your ability to make money or more money, bring more finances, bring more abundance will be higher. And again, as a direct result of you looking in and finding what makes you dissatisfied right now. So it sounds like some of you are going to be turning within and asking yourself some questions. And those questions are directly connected to the law of attraction, because what we feel and believe subconsciously, we tend to attract. So if you are not confident, or if you have trouble feeling empowered, you will have a tendency to attract work, relationships, what have you, that will prove that to you. So there's definitely a little bit of a push here to look within to help you figure out what makes you tick. Okay. And I think that's all I have for finances. Is there anything else? Yeah, there's one more thing. An arrow just landed here, and I'm trying to see what this means. I hear the words "you're right on target," what is this about? Some of you know exactly where you want to go, and I feel like you're just fixated on what you want to do, and the words are "you're right on target." I don't feel that's where you are now, but I feel you are gearing towards something. So again, this is going to apply to some of you. So if you have been contemplating or asking or wondering, is this the right thing for me? The message is you're right on target, but obviously always consult with your intuition. That's hugely important. Okay. Never take my advice or my words here in a general reading as advice. Always check with your intuition. Now let's move on to your health. We have the card called the Hangman. When I connect with this card, it's a feeling of not knowing what to do. There's a sense of frustration. I want to touch my throat. So this could be anything, because this is health. This could be anything that is throat related. This could also be feeling frustrated, not being heard, and it's now somehow affecting your throat. I'm also being pointed in my ears. So for some of you, I feel that there's something go with my ears. I actually hear ears plugged. So if you have your ears plugged, there is inability to hear. So maybe you have your ears plugged and therefore you can't hear, or because you cannot hear, the manifestation, the physical manifestation of it is your ears are getting plugged. So it's a twofold message here. Let me just see if I can dig a little bit more into this. So the message for the ears is you're not listening to your intuition. You're ignoring your own promptings, your soul's promptings. You're ignoring your inner messages. You are ignoring your gut feel about some condition in your body. And the feeling I get is like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. If I don't see it, if I don't look at it, then it doesn't exist. And then I hear the word, stop pretending it's not there. So I don't know what this is. It could be as simple as a throat infection, or something manifesting from stress, or something more severe where you feel that if you don't get it checked out, because if you did, you'd be afraid what you'd find out, it's kind of better that you don't know. And that's denial. So if you have been bothered by something within your body and your gut has been telling you, but you have been ignoring it. It is time to stop procrastinating and go see someone who will help you. Okay. Okay, this is one of those messages. It's different from what I just said. What I'm saying is I don't think it relates to what I said, but some of you have a problem with ingrown toes. I know. I'm telling you, sometimes when I get these messages, like last month about some coffee enemas, I just kind of shake my head and I go, okay, somebody's need to hearing it, because last month somebody heard it, a few people, and it was actually very good for them. So some of you have a real problem with ingrown toenails. You got to get it checked out. And the reason for it is there either is an infection or currently, or there is going to be an infection and you're not paying attention to it. Okay. That's an interesting message. Some of you are losing your hair. And I actually hear the words hair follicles falling out. And it's like, oh, okay, what's the problem? And there's a couple of things. Please research this, because I have no knowledge of this. POCOS, he's connecting this to this particular, I actually have to write it down to check it later. Something like that, POCOS. There's something connected to that for some of you. Some of you are losing your hair, and I hear the word male baldness. So it actually could be a female. I'm also hearing the word FSH. I don't know what this means, FSH. Hopefully it has to do something with hair. But could you please check it out for some of you if this has been bothering you and you haven't really been looking into it? Maybe this is one of the signs that Spirit is saying, hey, stop procrastinating, time to look into it. Yeah, I clearly hear male baldness. Okay. Now, for those of you who are male, I'm actually seeing it here. If you have started to lose your hair abruptly recently, and I mean very recently, within the last 2 months, he is saying to me a lot of it has to do with stress factors in your body and also your adrenal health. So if you are dealing with hair loss that has been very prominent in the last couple of months especially, please look into your adrenal function, adrenal health, and also pay attention to the stress in your life, because it is starting to affect your body, and he says quite severely for some of you. So if this makes sense to you, I hope it makes sense. Okay. And for some of you, this is serious. He's saying to me, for some of you, it is a serious matter. And I could see losing one's hair would not be something, light. Okay. Some of you need to start taking more multivitamins. I actually heard vitamin B or B5, but please also research. I think B5 is for hair growth, but please research this. But some of you need some supplementation, and it's directly related to the stress you have been under for the last few months, and it is affecting your body. I also hear the word zinc, and I also hear aluminum. Aluminum. Do me a favor, guys. Check if there is such thing as aluminum in the body or ingesting too much aluminum. I suppose it could come from cans, but this is not saying you should take aluminum. I feel that there is too much aluminum in your body, which I guess would be toxic. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. So please always research. And I think that's all I have. For some of you, I hear the words, pay attention to your belly. And he said belly. He didn't say stomach. Pay attention to your belly. And I'm not sure why. And I feel for some of you, it's overindulgence in certain foods or drinks. So if you have been overindulging on certain beverages or food or both, the message is, and he's kind of smiling, saying, watch, pay attention to your belly. Okay. I don't think it's serious, but I think some of you are maybe expanding in that area, and particularly for men. I'm seeing women, yes, but also for men, because that does have a significant factor on your heart. So not saying anything is wrong, but just take it for what it is and see if it makes sense. And I think that's all I have. It's a long message, but I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for sharing. And if you find this helpful, by all means, please comment. I love reading your comments, even though I may not reply to everyone, but I make a point of reading all of them. Thank you again for your wait and for your patience. And if you would like to contact me directly for a private session, that information is down below for you. And I look forward to seeing you again in July. Take care of yourself and be patient. Bye.